Live. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We got a triple concurrent threat going on right now. Good morning, my people. Good morning. Haiti Biz News Show, Monday to Friday, bringing you that news that's going to keep you informed, engaged, and reacting in the most optimal way for your business, investment, entrepreneur activity. Today is the 23rd of September. Let's talk about it. All right. We have a active day morning of things to talk about. So we're going to just really get into it. But of course, we have some announcements per usual. Be aware that we dropped a video recently. Right? Be aware, right? Unboxing, BonBon Lakay, unboxing, where we went ahead and opened up a Haitian businesses box and shared. It was a good episode, not only because I learned a few snacks I didn't even really appreciate, like Lung Beth didn't really know, but I think some viewers got to appreciate what Haitian snacks look like. Haitians, some folks may not even know, some other Haitians may not even know, right? So that was just cool to have on camera, and honestly, it was tasty as hell. In fact, let me fix this. This is distracting. Behind me there we go. That should do it. Okay. And it was tasty as hell, and enjoyed shooting it. And I didn't think I was going to have an unboxing so soon after Taste of Haiti box, which, by the way, is right back there. That's my permanent prop. Shout out. But I did, and if you guys know of any other Haiti focused boxes out there, y'all let me know. I will gladly reach out and see if I can, highlight them for you guys. Right? Videos KO, my Dominican friend. Good morning over there on YouTube. Good morning, my brother, our sister. I don't know. Good morning. And additionally, of course, we still have Dorian. We're still collecting for that. The link is in the description. We're working with some organizations on the ground. So far, we've collected $1,200. Like, wow. I'm going to say it again. We collected $1,200. That's an impactful amount of money. But we still have more to do. And so, again, if you guys are interested, the link's in the description. Do go check them out. Give $5, give $10. Right, because there's a lot of folks in need of that level of assistance. All right. So today, we have quite a bit of things to talk about. First, let me update you guys on the gas situation. Right. Actually, good morning to some of the folks on IG right now. Good morning, folks. Updating on the gas situation. We did have some shipments come in late last week. Things. There is gas, much more available. I'm finally with gas. I went 6 days without gas, even though it wasn't a full tank. I was able to get about in between 3/4 and a half, like literally right in between that amount. I was able to get. That should hold me for a couple of days, and hopefully things can continue to stabilize, and I finally get a full tank in. And refill up my reserves. A lot of the places we went, we're still doing some form of rationing, just to allow that. There's not some folks who just take a gallon, like a barrel of gasoline themselves, right? To make sure there is enough to go around. So we're still keeping an eye on that. Hopefully, it does get better. I know just over the weekend we had a diesel container come in and with over 150 some odd thousand barrels, and so we're keeping an eye on it because we have to. You live and depend on gasoline in this day and age, and it's certainly we talked about it. If you guys wanted me to really catch up and get the full in-depth discussion on that, check out really any episode last week, and I really did break it down. And something I found out over the weekend was, even right now, I was talking about it. Cuba is also going through a very difficult gas shortage, just like us, just like in Haiti. They were going, depending very much on Venezuela, still do, but with embargo and Venezuela's internal issues with their oil company and just politically, they've been unable to be able to deliver and provide the gas that Cuba depends on, right? And with Cuba still under embargo under Trump, they really haven't been able to get it elsewhere. At least in Haiti, at least we're not under an embargo from the U.S. At least we can, source it from others. Just the government's just totally incompetent, right? But just a quick fun fact. I guess you want to call it a fun fact. That Cuba is going through the same thing. But again, this isn't Cuba business news. This is Haiti business news. So let's get back on topic. We have Videos KO. So Videos KO is saying that, did you know there's a tourist war between Cuba and Mexico? I mean, if you got a link, feel free and share the link and so I can read up on it. But it'll be interesting, but I don't see how it relates to Haiti. Videos KO. Yes, relate to Haiti somehow. Yeah, I mean. So, news story: Petite Goâve floods. Petite Goâve floods. If folks don't know where Petite Goâve is, it's a city, I guess you can say halfway between Port-au-Prince and Miagouan. It's in the southwest side. I believe it's in Nipe, actually. I think it's in the Nipe department officially. It's not in the west, I don't believe. And it's along the way to get to maybe Okai, right? Folks probably are more familiar with Okai in the south. It's one of the first cities you're going to run across when you leave Port-au-Prince. And there's been massive flooding. I mean, there's been just this massive tropical sort of depression that's been sitting on Haiti and just been dumping rain. I mean, it's been raining every single day. And in fact, the forecasters say it's going to keep raining until like October 6th every single day. It's been dumping rain. And unfortunately, they got a massive amount of rain around Petite Goâve area, and there was a flash flood. And literally within 30 minutes, the pictures that are coming out, your guys, they're devastating and they're very sad. I mean, you're seeing water, you're seeing homes, and you're seeing water up to here, right? Yeah, here's the home, and here's the water. I mean, right up to the roof line, and people on their roofs, being rescued on little boats. It's devastating. So far, there's been at least 2 deaths, 4 missing persons, over 200 flooded homes, officially flooded, like just underwater, and then 100 homes that are damaged or destroyed from other factors, including the water in Petite Goâve. Public officials are asking for humanitarian aid, right? And of course, as I just mentioned, there's been rain expected through October 6th. So certainly it's something. I'm not sure if I'm the first to be breaking this news to you guys, but there is a very devastating flood that's just happened in Petite Goâve over the weekend, and folks are reacting. Of course, we'll have NGOs there, but it would be nice to have a state reaction, a state that would be able to call a state of emergency and put in different ministries in there, from social response to. I remember when the army was supposed to be rebanded. One of the things that they advertised that they were going to be would be a first response team for disasters like this, right? They'd be one of the first things, folks on the ground, to help keep order, to help with the humanitarian part, rescues, etc. And I don't think I've seen a crisis yet where they've been talked about or they've been shown on the ground doing anything. For what it's worth, right? But certainly, our hearts and prayers are with the folks at Petite Goâve. And that's one thing I mentioned before when we dodged Hurricane Dorian ourselves here in Haiti, was the fact that there is a bullet that we dodged, because though the wind may not have affected us as bad, the rain certainly would have. And just rain itself here in Haiti, because the infrastructure is so poor, we see deaths, we see homes, we see flooding during just regular rainstorms. I can't imagine when we have hurricanes, right? Or in this case, we just have a depression that's just sitting on the country, and certain parts are being inundated. Petite Goâve is special in a way because there's a river that sort of cuts through Petite Goâve, and that river has been raining so much that why it flooded is that the river banks overgrew, right, and then flooded out into the surrounding area, the surrounding city, right. So it's been a lot of rain. Even myself here in Fitchville, I've noticed just a constant onslaught of just rain, right. There isn't much of a business concept here with this news story, other than to say, when you do come and you do start your venture, it is very important to try to preemptively put yourself, your situation, your entity in a place that is going to be resistance and resilient to natural disasters like this, like heavy rainfall, like um, uh, heavy rainfall primarily. You can't really do much about the earthquake, minus you building yourself and making sure that it's earthquake resistant, and or asking those questions that when you do move in, right? Is it, what's the story with the earthquake? And if the person doesn't even give you an earthquake, what? Just be aware that's probably not a place you want to be. You know what I mean? But just be cognizant of where you are, and if you can preemptively do things to help improve your resilience to certain things, um, like flooding and where the water flows when it rains, and maybe cutting a ditch so the water goes this direction instead of that. It's certainly something you can do, right? And of course, it's not totally about business concepts, right? If you are someone who has a specialty in disaster relief and um, disaster mitigation, though uh, the problem is there isn't necessarily a way for you to monetize that, because in most places, the state would pay for your services, your expertise, your knowledge, your time. But certainly from a charity standpoint, so if you're looking to volunteer or do something, that certainly would be a very impactful thing to do, which would be to, either help prepare communities and folks with that, right, and or work with communities after the fact, and help them um, uh, gain a degree of resiliency. In Haiti, the best time to have discussions about disasters, unfortunately, are right after disaster, when it's fresh in their mind, and the local folks who control some of the purse and some of the ways things can be invested can see clearly the need and spend the money. Before disaster, they'll probably just look at you crazy and say, "What? Preemptive? Thinking ahead? Huh? What? No, it's not done." Right? Which is, again, nothing to laugh at, but the reality of how so many of the leaders in Haiti, maybe at the administrative level to the higher level, think. Right? It's not a problem until it's a problem. Right? So that's the story of Petite Goâve, and of course we're thinking very much about the families, and we'll keep an eye on things, and as we get updates, certainly we'll share them here at Haiti Biz News. So videos KO. Okay, when during Hurricane Dorian hit the Bahamas, tourists stopped going there. And now there's bursts of news saying the Bahamas are unfortunate in conditions of living in. Okay. DR is trying to keep all the tourists and their money, and just sent a missile in the form of charity. Cuba, Mexico, and other islands are making their move. My question is, what the hell Haiti is doing? If it's what Haiti did not realize, Haiti does not want money or will be too busy these process. I guess I'm not too sure what Videos KO is asking here. I think Videos KO is asking, uh, I guess this is related to VSK's tourist war comment. I'm not too sure what you're asking in the video. Why is it Haiti investing in trying to get tourists in the country? Is that your question? Right? Yeah, let me know. That's your question. If it's you're trying to ask me why is Haiti not focused on getting tourists in the country? Let me know. Right? So next story has to do with something we've never talked about here on Haiti Biz News, but it's very relevant to business in Haiti and what's going on in Haiti, right? Which is TPS. We've never really talked about TPS, right? So let's talk about TPS. What is TPS? It's the temporary protection status that the Haitian diaspora received in the aftermath of the earthquake. Hundreds of thousands of Haitians and their children received it. We're talking numbers of 50 to 60,000, and this is back in 2012. Since Trump came back into office, one of his many priorities has been to cancel it for many and so TPS wasn't just Haiti, by the way. It was Nicaragua, Honduras, a few other countries in Central America that also that year suffered major disaster, and Trump wants them to go back, right? Trump, true to his base, get them to go back, ship them back, right? Forget the fact that these folks have been over here 10 years, been contributing to society. I haven't heard any story of them, of criminal activity, at least amongst the Haitian TPS, because believe me, I'm sure that if there was a major series of crimes of these people robbing and doing X, Y, and Z, the mainstream media would certainly have ran with it, certainly have highlighted it. I certainly haven't seen that. From what I've seen from my perspective as a Haitian in the Haitian community in the States, I've seen many of these guys go to school, contributing, they're paying taxes, they're raising families, they're taking full advantage of the opportunity God has given them to take them out of, well, first off, surviving a disaster that was the earthquake, and then placing them in America and really taking full advantage of the opportunity. And now that, this immigration status is being very actively pushed to be removed, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because, Haiti is not able to accept 50 to 60,000 people. Haiti is unable to even keep up with the folks that are here, much less an injection of massive amounts of folks. Now, the hope, of course, is that these folks can bring a certain degree of skill set, a certain degree of money, a certain degree of industry. But it's one thing, and I advocate a lot for folks to come back, but folks should come back willingly when they're ready, right? And do so in a way that's strategically intelligent and consistent to help themselves and to help the country, right? But just taking the rug out of people and then tossing them back into a country that they honestly, after 10 years, you're no longer familiar. Let's just be honest. And again, being in Haiti isn't for everybody. Being in business in Haiti in particular isn't for everybody. And so it's actually for a very small percentage of people, maybe 5 to 10% of all people, to be quite honest. And so you still have 90% of these folks who, don't have the necessary skill set to run a business in general, but especially in Haiti. And so what are they going to do? There's no formal jobs that like they were doing over there for the most part over here. So what are they going to do, right? So in particular, the new story on TPS is related to the DOJ. And the DOJ is, because right now there was a federal court that put an injunction that stopped Trump from removing TPS and starting the deportation process for all these people. And what the DOJ is arguing is that, first off, it's not racist. We're not racist. Forget these guys are black and colored people, from the Central America or Haiti. We just it was a temporary status. The temporary is in the name, and they got to go back, right? And so first off, they're trying to argue that's not the case, because I wonder if Britain ever had a situation that they needed to temporarily leave. if the U.S. would be so quick to reverse, British citizens or residents in the country. You know, let's just leave that alone for a second, right? For that, someday we'll see, right? Someday we'll see. But in any case, U.S. is a sovereign country; they can choose who's in or out of their country. But the situation is that a lot of these places they're going, they're not. There has been major improvement in the socio-economic condition of the country. Obviously, Haiti being an obvious case for that. And again, I had opened up the news story today about how we have a massive gas shortage, even though I finally got gas, I still don't have a full tank. I got a little over half of a gallon of gas, right? So you're going to bring folks who are in America back to this sort of lifestyle, and unwillingly. I I can complain all day, but I chose to be here. I chose this lifestyle, as crazy as it sounds, right? But to force folks who haven't, right, is very inhumane, cruel. Would be the words I'd use, right? And additionally, so the DOJ has to prove that things aren't as bad, and that certainly is, for better or for worse. Thank you, Haitian government, for being so incompetent and making things consistently worse every year. You're helping our TPS brothers and sisters out there. So I guess that's one thing we can give credit to the Haitian government for. So thank you, Haitian government. I'm sure that is what the TPS people are saying, I'm sure. But yeah, that's the news story, TPS. I'm sure at some point I'll probably give a deeper dive on that and what's going on. But TPS is very relevant to what's going on in Haiti because if it were to happen that they did come back to the country, that's gonna be interesting. Interesting to see because in a way you have a sort of forced reverse brain drain in a way, right? 50, 60,000 people coming back. And so that would be interesting to see ultimately what these folks do and how it impacts the larger society as a whole when you have these, folks who, again, they're going to be very highly educated. They're going to be relative to the people where they're coming into, going to have more capital, right? And most likely, given that jobs aren't going to be easily found for them, they're probably going to have no choice but to start entrepreneurial endeavors and possibly create jobs and try to boost the economy. So on one level, I kind of want to see that, right? Just to see what happens and see that potential improvement. But the reality is, again, as I just said, business isn't for everybody. A lot of these folks are going to suffer. A lot of their kids are going to suffer. And it's a very inhumane thing to do to bring them back into a situation that obviously the situation where Haiti's not ready for that. Haiti has a long way to go, right? Before I would consider Haiti a place that folks under TPS could say, oh well, for example, let's say Jamaica. In Jamaica under TPS, I say ship them back. They just got a brand new highway from China. Ship them back. You know what I mean? I'm being facetious. My Jamaican friends, don't unsubscribe. But just to show you the differences of development, right? So that's where I'm gonna end it with TPS. Videos KO. Let's see. He followed up. Let's say Bahamans. That's my question. Let's see Bahamans. And their hotels on the other island are weak, are trying to protect themselves, especially the hotel chain. Okay, Bahamar. Everything's in vain. The Miami hotels will fall. DR relies on winter's power. Okay, I just wanted to know if you're up to date. What's going on? Missing opportunities to grow. I think, Haiti is very. I think the administration that had the most I've seen foresight and was able to work and do a lot during the time that I was here and seeing firsthand was the Minister of Tourism under Stephanie Villeudran. She, from all accounts, was a phenomenal Minister of Tourism. She did a lot of things that sorely needed for the tourists in terms of promoting the country, in terms of getting some sort of infrastructure for them to communicate. I believe it was under her that they really pushed the national touristic sites. If there's official term, like his hibiscus site award or something like that, where you go to these different sites and you see like this little plaque. Hibiscus, which is I guess the state, not I guess, but the state flower of Haiti, and you saw a lot of really positive things happening under Minister of Tourism. I think even Polytour, the police corps, started around her. I mean, the other Minister of Tourism's, I haven't seen nearly as much activity. To be fair, a lot of them didn't stick around much because of the amount of turnover in terms of governments and prime ministers going through the system since Jovenel has been in power. But certainly, since Stephanie's been gone, there has been a tremendous misses in opportunity for tourism. But I think that's a theme that goes without saying. I appreciate videos KO for bringing it up. But certainly, if you're asking me if I'm aware that Haiti's missing out on opportunities in tourism, I think it's sort of like you telling a pastor telling their choir that Jesus is coming. It's sort of understood, right? It's sort of understood that Haiti's missing out on those opportunities, and I guess you can't say right now Bahamas are in a spot right now where they probably can't focus on their touristic dollars, and so tourists have to go somewhere, and so they probably are thinking of Mexico, Dominican Republic, Jamaica. Like you mentioned Cuba, right? They're probably thinking of these places certainly, but most importantly though, Bahamas though, this is very a short-term blip for them. I think you're crediting. You're trying to put a little. I feel like you put a little too much emphasis on the fact that Bahamas still has a very strong reputation of safety, of enjoyment, of cleanliness, organization, X, Y, and Z, right? And I think they're still the third highest GDP. I think after in the Caribbean, right? And so I think there might be these guys might be fighting for these tourists right now, just in the next few months. But certainly, I think next year things will return back to normal, and folks will be going back to the Bahamas. Those who want to go back to the Bahamas will be going back to the Bahamas, right? So I think I don't really see the long-term implications of these countries fighting for tourist dollars in Bahamas. Because again, Bahamas doesn't suffer corruption, right? Bahamas doesn't have. I've never seen in their Senate, their senators fighting and destroying chambers just so prime minister can't get elected, pouring gasoline in the chambers, like Haiti does, right? So I don't think they're going to suffer too long. I feel confident that Bahamas will recover and be right back in the grips of being a touristic hub for the Caribbean and especially the world. So, but anyway, but thanks for that comment, videos KO. Appreciate that. My liberté financière. The TPS drama is another indication that we need to build our country so we don't have to beg others to let us in. Even those who cross Canada, 9% of them have been refused and will be deported. You know what? Spot on, man. Spot on. I really wish folks would appreciate that, understood that there's no way out. We're on this boat here if you're Haitian. And being Haitian isn't just, it's Flag Day. It's Carnival. Let me just go downtown and wear a little feathery thing and shake my booty. Yeah, I'm Haitian. Yeah, being Haitian isn't, there's somebody on the radio You're saying Zoe. Yeah, yes, I'm a Zoe. And that's not what being Haiti means. Being Haitian means being Haitian. What it should mean is, hey, you have a country, right? This isn't the past. You see, like a lot of African Americans, they'll reference, um, Egypt and using Egypt talismans. But the thing is, like Egypt that we know, Egypt that was run by Nubians, that's millions, thousands of years gone. Beyond that, right? Yeah, it's important that we know, but it's gone, right? But Haiti exists, and you can actually influence how Haiti develops by actually going there, spending your money, by going there, building things, by going there, you know, building and building jobs and potentially buying property and having a spot. And you yourself making sure you pay property tax because many folks don't. So entities, different communes and cities can have some money to, particularly if run by a good guy, do things in the commune. But what a lot of folks do, by the way, just a little quick tangent, they just do little HOAs, right? They do because you can't really trust the state. It's very naive to consider you can trust any state level institution. So what a lot of folks do instead is in their local community, they'll just pull funds, right? They'll say, okay, they'll make a little community organization and just say, okay, what can you give? What can you give? What can you give? What can you give? Okay, what you get? What can you give? And then they put into a pot, and then they fix their own roads. They do other necessary repairs and coordination within the community. And so it's a lot easier to do that when you have a base of what that means. Because a lot of us coming from the States do know what HOAs mean because we live in an HOA area sometimes or live in a condo, you know what a condo association is. So you have an idea of how those things work, right? So back, that was a quick tangent, coming back. So, being Haitian should mean, hey, question should ask, when you see somebody repping Haiti or having a flag, so what are you doing in the country, man? Right? What are you doing? Because if you're saying you're Haitian and you're not doing something active, when things like this happen, like TPS, and now folks have to come back, it shouldn't be, oh no, we have to go back to this country. That's But if I'll tell you what, if all these 50, okay, let's say half of these guys, 25,000 of these TPS folks were actively still engaged in their country in some small fashion. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe one guy opens up a corner store, another guy, opens up a little chicken farm. 25,000 of these small investments add up to big investment activity, right? Who knows how quickly in 10 years, 20 years, you could have a genuine push in the positive, right? And influence the diaspora would have, not just the money that they're sending, but the actual influence they have on the ground would be game changing, right? And so my liberty, if I say, let me pull back because I can go on and on with this. I love that comment. Certainly, you're right. We have to, in every country, Dominican Republic, the discrimination that happens there, Bahamas, the discrimination that we talked about last week that's going on there, Mexico, Brazil, I'm hearing some things about Chile right now. I'm hearing about, a very strong police crackdown in the Haitian community there, a lot of arrests happening, a lot of abuse happening against the Haitian community there. When are we going to get it? When are we going to understand that as Haitians around the world, we have to decide, listen, enough's enough. We need to engage with our country and make our country a place that's livable and a place that we wouldn't necessarily want to leave. And we have to engage. We can't just wipe our hands of our responsibility of Haiti because this is our home. And other people will continue to disrespect us until our home is in order. So great response on that. Videos KO. Okay. Yep, lots of money being lost. We agree on that when it comes to tourism and not engaging that seriously. Pierre Paul, we keep talking about the government changed Haiti so it could move forward, but it seems that we never talk about us being the governed, us the diaspora, we the change we need. You're absolutely right, Pierre Paul. We're absolutely right. How many folks actively seek ways to connect and change and keep the discussion going. And the guys who are watching me right now, you guys are part of that small percentage. But in the just world, it's not just 10 or 15 or 20 folks watching me on the live right now across all the streams. It would be 1,000, right? All watching and saying, okay, well, this is the conversational talking point. First, I want us to stay aware, and then ultimately what I provide, which is discussions of business concepts and how to move forward. Okay, let's take some notes, and then let's see what we can do about moving forward. All right, but there isn't enough discussion. Isn't enough discussion on that. You're absolutely right, Pierre Paul. Vito's KO. If you really believe that tourists will return in quantities as before, you're innocent. Okay, all right. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure Haiti ever had a strong tourist. I think back in the 50s or 60s, Haiti had a very strong tourism perception. I can't really speak to the dollars, but I do know in the 50s and 60s, Haiti was the Jamaica of the Caribbean. It was the place to be. A lot of celebrities were coming. But since then, I'm not too sure. I think we even had a cruise ship for a while. We did that one, not just coming into Labadie like they do right now, but I believe there was a time where they even would land in Port-au-Prince and walk around and come to the city, spend their dollars, just like any other, like somebody landing. It's like the cruise ships landing in Puerto Rico now. You can get a deep embark in Puerto Rico, the actual city, walk around, spend your money, then get back on the boat. That was happening for a time as well, but I don't know what quantities you're talking about though, Vito Scale. So My Liberté Financière says the problem with the diaspora and Africans also is that we never invest in our countries. When we build, we usually build a house ourselves, which will never help the economy. You're absolutely right, man. Let me see. Next comment. He says, and then he continues, very few actually invest. My son godfather, okay, actually bought okay, I get it. My son's godfather actually bought a land to build a village for the diaspora who want to move back. We need more of that, Tate. Yeah, that's cool. What's the name of the village? Maybe I'm aware of that village already, Mali Biter. But no, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think there's a famous quote that Africans and Haitians certainly, they treat their country as graveyards. They're like, oh, well, I'm going to work here. I'm going to work. I'm going to build my retirement home, and then when I get old, I'm going to move back to my country and die there, right? So they treat their countries as graveyards rather than opportunities for life, right? It shouldn't just be building a home. It should be building, right, some sort of partnership with some folks on the ground to expand and extend your business, and being engaged in that process as much as possible. And so you're absolutely right. It is a very sad sort of behavior that Haitians have, and it needs to change if there is ever going to be a improvement in the conditions in the country, right? So I see my time is ticking upwards here. So I do want to have some other news that we want to talk about very quickly. That we won't emphasize too long like we usually do, just little bite-sized stories, because there's a lot of news that happened over the weekend, and I do want to just very quickly engage on it. For example, we have the Solomon Islands and the Republic of Kiribati. Voila. The Republic of Kiribati, also known as Oceania, who broke relations with Taiwan. So now Taiwan only has, before they had 17. Taiwan only had 17. Oh, okay. Yeah. So Taiwan only had 17 countries around the world that recognized it, but now has 15, right? And that's recent. And they switched sides because China has been very interested in lowering the count of people who recognize them in the country and in the world. And they were successful with two more different promises of development and other direct gains, right? And they wisely look at okay, Taiwan, what are you doing for me? Okay. China, what you gonna do for me? Okay. All right. Our people want development, and we're gonna go in that direction, right? So Haiti is still part of the 15 that's sticking with Taiwan. Now, certainly, I would hope that the, Mr. Jovenel Moise, whenever he comes out of the hiding place that he's been at for the past 3-4 months while all these crises have been happening, does use that as leverage to say, hey, man, you're losing more friends. We're still one of the friends you got, and the agenda he's trying to push, which I actually agree with Jovenel, is electricity. No country can ever succeed in 2019 without 24/7 electricity. Really emphasize, say, hey, man, listen, China's out for me, a redeveloped city here. Let's move forward quickly on getting electricity redone in this country, right? Or I'm going to bounce. So it puts him in a much more leveraged position if he is indeed taking those things serious and is really indeed about development. If I'm just putting myself in his shoes, and if I was the president, man, I'd go back with a smile on my face to my Taiwanese contact and say, hey, what about that electricity grid? How quickly can we? Yeah, 12, 18 months. Yeah, I need it in 12. Right? I would come back in a much more leveraged position. But we'll see again if ultimately, we've talked about this just last week. And you already know what my opinion is. My opinion is we should be with China. But if there is a decision to stay with Taiwan, let's make the most out of it, get the most out of it, right? Naomi Osaka has won her 4th title, the Pan-Pacific Ocean title. I know it's not business news necessarily, or related to investment or economic condition, but listen, I have a lot of respect for Naomi. She's someone who's always rep Haiti, never always let folks know, hey man, I'm Haitian, right? And the fact that she's continuing to dominate, continuing to win, and because the more she wins, the more she talks about Haiti, and the more Haiti's in the spotlight in a different perspective. On top of that, she's one of those diaspora who's doing things in the country, right? She has a school in Jacmel, and she funnels a lot of those resources to that school. In addition, she's in Haiti all the time, doing different things related to tennis and helping a new generation of tennis kids learn about the sport and be a part of the sport. And so I just have none but love and adoration for Osaka. And I'm so happy that she's won her 4th title. So hats off to Naomi. Big ups to her. And I do hope she continues to be successful for many, 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 many years. Because as long as she's successful, Haiti is also going to be, on the map for in all its potential positivity. The 261st birthday of our liberator, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, was September 20th. Just happened. And I'm going to say it again. Our liberator, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, was September 20th. Our formal holiday for him is going to be coming next month, the 17th, I believe is his formal holiday in October. But I do want to recognize his birthday, someone who was so crucial for where we are today. And he's someone, he was very clear, we need a strong national home front. We need a Haiti for Haitians. We need, wherever you are, if you're about freedom, acceptance, you're a citizen. The moment you touch our soil and your black skin, you are a citizen of the country. Right? Imagine if we can go back to that. Imagine if we can, stop this nonsense. And again, the Haitian diaspora can't be a part of our country, our political system, and take it a step further and say, no, if you're black anywhere, you come here, you'll at least be an automatic resident, right? How cool would it be to get a reverse brain drain in that way, right? But in any case, I'm sure if Jean-Jacques Dessalines was here or be reincarnated, I'm sure one of the first things he would do would be one of those things. But hats off to Jean-Jacques Dessalines and what he's done for us. And so recognition for him. And finally, the Haiti soccer team is playing a critical game on October 10th in Port-au-Prince, a critical game against Costa Rica. Recently, because of a loss and then a tie to Curacao, they went down 3 or 4 places. They're trying to get into the World Cup. Haiti's trying to get into the World Cup. How awesome would it be for Haiti to get into the World Cup? And so this game is critical because it depends on different, the region. And we're in the same region as Costa Rica. Costa Rica is like number 3 in the region right now. and Haiti is number 8 or something like that. So if you could win against Costa Rica, that would be massive, massive for our rankings, massive for our position, massive for our chances for the World Cup. So honestly, I'm gonna try to be out there. You know, if things can calm down in the country and stay calm, that's always a big question mark. Then certainly I want to be at the stadium and watching the game live. So we'll see. But again, October 10th, Costa Rica, Haiti's playing, and so keep an eye on that. Keep my fingers crossed, because I would love Haiti in the World Cup. You know, I'm not sure how far we go, but that would be great. That would be great. Right. So that's all the news I have for today. All right. I appreciate the folks who watch live. Let me grab some of these live comments real quick and see what we have. Let's see. My Liberté says the village hasn't been built yet. He has land already, and he will go to Haiti next month to start construction. Great, man. Great. Bring security, cleaning streets, do some of the same marketing. Tourists will come in droves. I mean, what do you think when they hear about Caribbean holiday heaven, right? So yeah, that's great though. I mean, that's my Liberté. That's the sort of forward thinking we need, and it's not gonna be easy, you know. But that's sort of forward thinking we need of the diaspora. And so hats off to your friend that's doing that, and have him reach out to me. You know, my email is, where's my email at the bottom? I gotta add that. You know, I'm gonna add my contact email at the bottom of my descriptions now, and have him reach out to me as he's doing his stuff. Would love to meet him on all of his trips here, and just exchange ideas with him, because those are the sort of folks I have tremendous respect for. You know, folks who are who bite the grain, who pull the trigger on doing what's necessary. So feel free and have him reach out to my email, my Liberté. All right, and whatever I can do to guide him and counsel and connect and network with provider a network, I certainly will try to do that. Okay, we have Mickey Saint. Mickey Saint, we certainly need to do something for our country besides on the business side. I do believe the government cannot do everything for us, but what is the government doing to help facilitate the private sector? You know, I think we talk about it all the time. It's not that the government is doing things to help facilitate the situation. In fact, the government acts as a barrier to business investment, and that's the reality. And any investment you do is despite the government, not because of the government. But it's very necessary to do that. There is no change without that. And more importantly, it can be done, right? Because when you drive around and you see all these Lebanese and Syrian and other people, and again, I have no disparity against these guys, right? When I say this stuff, but if they can do it, right? Think about it, guys. I don't want to hear excuses. Like, if they can do it, they're not Haitian, right? Well, excuse me, they are Haitian. They've been here multi-generational. You know, they're Haitian. Okay, in that sense. But what I'm saying is, in the sense that, you know, they weren't Haitian at one point, but they were able to stick through it, work together, and now they're in a dominant social economic class. Why can't we do the same? Like, why do we stick to the same story of can't be done when it can be done? It just has to be done a certain way, and find out how it was done and replicate that. That's one thing that always infuriates me when I hear the can't attitude and the victimization attitude that Haitians have and Black people have, you know, all across the world. And it's we don't have that here. This is a no victimization zone. This is a how do we work together? What's the best strategy to move forward and be successful zone, right? Keep that away from here, right? And I think a lot of folks who watch the stream are of that mindset. So I respect you guys. I thank you for that. Pierre Paul says it's only a matter of time before sees light and joins China. Yeah, we hope so, Sammy. Pierre Paul. We have Sammy Lammy saying, or Lamy, I hope I'm saying your name right. Great time to invest in Haiti with China's aggression trying to be the number one power. It's only a matter of time. Haiti drops Taiwan and an area the Japanese should focus on OCOP, especially near Caracas. I fully agree with you. Fully agree with you. Steve Jules says, good morning. Never have a chance to catch live. Hey, man, welcome. Glad you were able to catch live. I appreciate it. I appreciate you for dropping a comment. Thank you. Oh, my man, Odinga. Always with the controversial comments. You're a little late, my friend. A little late. Should have came up a little earlier, man. But good morning, my brother. Good morning, Odinga. All right, so this is where we're going to end the stream. I appreciate the folks who were able to watch it live. Of course, we're always here Monday through Friday. 6:30 a.m. is always the goal. Sometimes I may be a little late. That's the Haitian in me. But I try to be on time. Tomorrow we have something real interesting. Tomorrow we have something really, really interesting for you guys on the live, right? So I know you guys who usually watch. Don't miss this next episode, okay? We have something really interesting happening tomorrow, okay? I'm serious now. You know me. I don't talk stuff up unless I'm serious about something that's really cool, really informative happening. So if you can catch it live, catch it live. But of course, there was always a live stream that happened. So feel free and catch that. As always, if you like what's going on here, share, right? Share this stream in your WhatsApp, in your Facebook group. I know there's little, Haitians in Haitians in Florida, Haitians in Tampa. Share it there, right? Because we gotta get the conversation. We gotta get more people who, we don't want every Haitian. I don't want to be clear. Business Haiti is not for everybody, but I do want to connect with those Haitians who are of the mindset of, okay, the right way to move forward is business. Let's get them this stream and let them know there's a community growing of folks that understand what Haiti needs, which is jobs and business investments, and let's get them together. Let's get them together, right? Let's get the knowledge share going, and so we can actually start something that can be impactful, right? And it starts with you guys sharing it, right? And of course, if it's your first time here, hit that comment. It's your first time, hit that red button. I'm sorry, hit that red button. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Subscribe if you're on Facebook. Okay, and listen, until we're back at it again, guys. Hit that break, right? I gotta give a shout out to Stephen Pierre, who reached out and said, "Yo, I love what you're doing here. I want to contribute," and he dropped a massive donation. We have a Square Cash hashtag Seejeanty, and he donated. So as I promised, I was going to give him a shout out. So Stephen Pierre, if you're watching the stream today, again, I want to thank you very much for, listen, everyone supports the way they can. Again, I appreciate anyone who shares the stream, anyone who subscribes, anyone who comments. Love you guys to death. But of course, hey, money talks, right? And so anyone who takes that next level support and provides a donation, listen, I give tremendous amount of respect, and I'm going to give you a shout out. So thank you for that. And I started talking to Steve Pierre a little bit, and he also is a guy who's looking to do impactful work in the country and doing things. So I look forward to continuing to network with him as he does different activities in the country. So again, Steve Pierre Paul. And if I had my special effects, this was a post-production sort of deal, I'd have fireworks going. So thank you, Steve Pierre, for that donation. I appreciate it, and everyone on the stream appreciates it, I'm sure. All right. But okay, guys, that's it. Until we're back at it again. Listen, we'll be back at it again tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. Peace.